Welcome to class students. In today's class we are going to discuss delays in assignment statements, expressions, operands and operator list. To begin with, delay values control the time between change in right hand side of the operand and when the new value is assigned to the left hand side. There are three ways of specifying delays in continuous assignment statements. First one, the regular assignment delay. Next, implicit continuous assignment delay, and net declaration delay. There are three ways in which you can specify delays in assignment statements. Regular assignment delay, the delay value is specified after the keyword assign. First we need to write keyword assign followed by delay and then the expression. Say suppose if you consider this expression, assign is a keyword, hash 10 is a delay, out is equal to in1 and in2. This is the expression, and you are implementing two input AND gate with inputs in1 and in2, and output we are naming it as out. So here delay is 10 time units. This is how we have to write regular assignment delay. Any change in the value of in1 or in2 will result in a delay of 10 time units before recomputation of the expression in1 and in2, and the result will be assigned to out. So since expression assign hash 10 out is equal to in1 and in2 involves two inputs in1 and in2, any change in input in1 or in2, the expression is selected for evaluation and the computed value is assigned after 10 time units. So what if in1 and in2 values change before 10 time units? So initially when in1 or in2 value has changed, if you consider that as a starting point, so before you complete that 10 time units, again values of in1 and in2 are changing in the expression. In those cases, the initial value is considered, the new values are not considered for recomputation. This property is known as or is called as inertial delay. So that gate takes inertia delay means it takes 10 time units to compute the value and assign it to output. Any value change before 10 time units, that value is neglected. One more important observation, that hash 10 also corresponds to the minimum width of the value. The value in1 and in2 should remain high or low for minimum time duration of 10 time units. If it is lesser than 10 time units, then that input, sudden change in input pulse, lesser than 10 time units, is neglected as noise. Here we can observe an input pulse that is shorter than delay of the assignment statement does not propagate to the output. It's very important observation. So that is treated as noise on the wire and it is not processed or not propagated at the output. So the inertia of the device, it also deals with the noise also. Transport delay, it takes 10 time units to assign the value to output, as well as any value lesser than 10 time units for inputs. If it is lesser than 10 time units, then that is rejected as noise. We analyze with the help of an example. Consider an example, assign hash out 10 out assigned with IN1 and IN2. So delay we have assigned in continuous assign. How this statement is evaluated? Say suppose consider this representation. Here you can observe IN1 is changing. IN1 initial value is 0. Here also initial value is 0. IN2 value is also 0. The output when IN1 and IN2 both are 0, the value is not assigned immediately. So initial values are IN1 and IN2, say suppose 0, 0. Output value will not get immediately output 0. It takes 10 time units to compute this value, which is 0, and it takes 10 time units to assign. At time 10 output will become, based on these values, output will become 0 here. Till then, before 10 time units, what is the output? It is unknown, x. For this duration, the output is unknown. So on simulation window, you will get as x. Again, at 10 time units, if you observe, so once this computation is over, at 10 time units, again new set of values if you observe, again 0, 0, okay, it is assigned at time 20, computed value. You can observe at time 20, IN1 and IN2 both are changing to 1. So this value is computed with value IN1 and IN2 as 1, 1, 1 and 1, you will get 1. It is assigned after 10 time units. At time 20, values are changing. At time 30, the assignment is done. So the new value is assigned at time 30. So it remains 1. So again if you observe, IN2 is not changing, it is remaining 1. IN1 is changing, input 1 is changing at time 60. At time 60, IN1 is changing to 0. So here IN1 value is 0, IN2 value is 1. What is the output we are expecting? We are expecting 0 after 10 time units. At 60 value is changing, so we are getting output after 10 time units, that is at 70, the value will get 70 time unit value, output value will be 0. Now one more observation, if you do at time 80, the input signal is becoming 1, and immediately at 85, so value is becoming 0. So you can observe for short duration of 5 time units, it is appearing as 1 and again it is becoming, so it appears as a pulse, sudden change value. So this #10 corresponds to any input change lesser than 10 time units. It is rejected as noise. It won't appear at the output. So at output the value remains as 0 only. So what this #10 delay corresponds? This delay corresponds to the assignment or transport delay. When input changes, computation is done immediately, but the value assignment is delayed by 10 time units. And any signal input value change lesser than 10 time unit, that won't appear at the output, that is rejected as noise. So this will be a noise or pulse lesser than 10 nanosecond, this is rejected. The waveform by simulating above statement. Okay, we analyze this. Once again we will see the same thing. When signals IN1 and IN2 go high at time 20, output goes to high 10 time units later. Later means at time 30, output will go high. When input 1 goes low at 60, output changes to low at time 70. However, input 1 changes to high at 80, but it goes down to low before 10 time units have elapsed. Hence, at the time of computation 10 time units after 80, IN1 is 0. Thus, output gets value 0. A pulse of width less than the specified assignment delay is not propagated to the output. Next we see implicit continuous assignment delay. An equivalent method is to use an implicit continuous assignment to specify both a delay and an assignment on the net. Implicit continuous assignment says, here declaration of output we are done as wire with a delay of 10 time units, and it is output. While declaration only, we are assigning an expression also IN1 and IN2. So this is equivalent to defining wire out and writing assign statement. Assign #10 out IN1 and IN2. Already we have analyzed this particular assign statement. So wire out is defined. So this statement will also give you the same result. It is implied. What is implied? Here output is an net wire type and it is with delay #10. So while declaration only, we are mentioning delay as well as we are assigning an expression. This is allowed only once within the coding. When for the first time when you are declaring, at that time you can declare as well as assign value for the output ports. I hope you are clear with the concept. Either use this method or this method, both are same. So this corresponds to, this representation corresponds to, this corresponds to implicit continuous assignment delay. The declaration above has same effect as defining a wire out and declaring continuous assignment on out. Next, net declaration delay. A delay can be specified on a net when it is declared without putting continuous assignment on the net. There are three different ways. Okay. So we observed two: implicit continuous assignment, now regular assignment also. Now we are observing net declaration delay. While declaring net, we are assigning delay. If a delay is specified on a net out, then any value change applied to the net out is delayed accordingly. Net declaration delays can also be used in gate level modeling. You consider here, while declaring wire, you are assigned delay #10 out, and then in assignment statement you are not mentioning any delay. In assignment statement we are not mentioning, while declaration only we are mentioning, so we are calling it as net declaration delay. Net declaration, when we are declaring net, we are mentioning delay. When you are writing assignment statements, there is no need to write the delay. It out will take delay of 10 time units. So this net delay is equivalent to wire out. So it's a general method, regular method. Wire out, regular assignment delay. First you declare wire. In assignment statement, we write a delay. Assign 10 time units out, assigned with an expression. So these two statements are equivalent to these two. Next we discuss expressions, operators and operands. Data flow modeling describes the design in terms of expressions instead of primitive gates. So gate level modeling we have seen predefined gates or user defined gates. You can define and you can write the modules using gate level modeling. In this data flow modeling chapter, we are using assignment statements. Gates can be implemented with the help of an expressions. or operators with the help of operands in that. As expressions which involves operators and operands, we can implement the gates, primitive gates. Expressions, operators and operands form the basis of data flow modeling. So what is expression? Expressions are constructs that combine operators and operands to produce a result. Examples of expressions: combines operands and operators. So right now you observe an expression without assignment. Okay, just you observe A XOR B. A and B are operand. This cap like structure is an XOR operator. Address 1, address 2, 20:17, 20:17, 20, 19, 18, 17, 4-bit adder. So using plus arithmetic operator. IN1 or IN2. So expression involves either logical, arithmetic, relational, shift, concatenation, or conditional operators. Operands can be any one of the data types. Some constructs will take only certain types of operands. Operands can be constants, integers, real numbers, nets, registers, times, bit select, part select, and memories or function calls. In the first example, if you observe, we are defined integer count and final underscore count. For final underscore count, you are assigning count plus 1 value. Here count is an operand. You are adding plus 1, plus is operator, and you are assigning value to a final count, which is also integer type. Final count is an integer operand in this case. A, B, C, you are defined real A, B, C. A and B are real operands. A minus B you are performing and you are assigning it to C. Register 15:0, register 1, register 2, register 3:0, register out. Okay. Register out size is 4-bit, register 1 and register 2 size is 16-bit. Register underscore out is equal to register 1 3:0 cap register 2 3:0. Since register out is 4-bit, you are selecting out of 16-bit lower 4 bits, performing bitwise XOR, and we are assigning it to register out, which is 4-bit, by using vector part select. Here register 1 3:0, register 2 3:0 are in this expression. Those are operands, are part select register operands, and the computed value, expression value, is assigned to register underscore out. One more example, register return value. Here in this case, calculate parity. You are passing two parameters a comma b. This is a function call where you are passing values a and b. Parity you want to calculate, and the calculated value is assigned to return underscore value. Calculate parity is a function type operand. So within the function can act as operand, okay, in assignment statements. Operator types. We will discuss operator types in the next class. It involves arithmetic, logical, relational, equality, bitwise, reduction, shift, concatenation, replication, and conditional operators. Thank you. We'll continue in next class.